Hey there, I'm Dennis from Ruffians. Since David Beckham's done the Buzzcut, I suppose I should really give myself a slightly shorter one and show you how he did it. So I'm going to walk you through step by step. So what do you need? Well, you're going to need some hair. Freshly washed hair is the best way to approach this. There's no product in there. It's lying in its natural state. So if it's not been styled, it is best. Obviously mine's a little too short to style anyway. I've got my trusty clippers and I put a number 2 guard on there. 2 guard is 6mm. So not quite as dramatic as Beckham, but it's short enough right now. So got my clippers all set up, got my hair freshly washed. Gonna keep my glasses on for a lot of it, guys. They are varifocal, so there's times I'm gonna have to take them off because when I move my head around, can't see. Clippers on, start at the front. God, it's difficult doing this in a mirror. Okay. Front to back. Not gonna back out now, right? So, going against the grain, keeping the clippers nice and flat to the head. Now you will have to move your head around a little bit. Just going to clear some of that dust away. Right, now up and over. Just keep the clippers nice and flat onto the scalp. And the firmer you are with the clippers, the cleaner the haircut. That hairline's not as strong as it used to be. And then a good other way to make sure is to go side to side. And that helps you get rid of any little fluffy bits that you may have missed. I'm going to move on to the sides. Keep your clippers clean in between because little hairs can get down in between the blades and they can make the blades a little tuggy. That's why when you see us in the shop, we're cleaning our clippers all the time. It's also to get out any buildup of hair product or anything that might be in there. Just want to keep them nice and fresh. So I'm going to start on the sides. I'm staying with the number 2 and I am just going up and over into hair I have already cut. So it's just making sure I've got no shadows. Still keeping clippers as flat to the head as I possibly can. Okay, so I'm moving back to the crown. Clippers flat. So this bone here is called the occipital bone. I'm going to start slightly above that and I'm going to go over here. Up here is literally the crown. Despite what your grandmother told you, most of you have only got 1, not a 2. Some people have 2, a double crown. But what you want to do is that little bit, it's like a balloon being tied at the top of your head and it grows in a swirl. So you want to go in different directions so that you're catching the grain. Next step, I'm going to start the back. Now the great thing about the back is even on video calls no one can see you. All I want to do is take that down. I'm going to go a little shorter than I've gone on the top. My hair tends to stick out, so if it's a little sharper around the back and sides it will look fresher, and I know only I know that, but it will make me feel better. So I put the 1 guard on. Now 1 guard is 3mm, and when you pull the blade back, this little handle here, when it's forward like that, that's a 1. When you pull that back, it's 1.5, 1.5, so 4.5 millimeters, not liters. So I'm starting with that back, and again, I'm starting around the occipital bone, and I'm just coming up. Now, what I'm doing slightly differently is, whereas before I was going right over the curve of the head, this time, and I'm doing it pretty much by feel, I am only working up to the curvature. This point here is the curvature, which is the widest point of the head. So, turn them off for a second. If I'm coming in on the sides, that way, yeah, and I'm starting down here, which I will in a minute. and you come up in like that. If you go up and over, then suddenly what you've got up here is a jar head. So it becomes super, super short, super, super high up to here, and this little kind of buzzed mohawk, which is a look. Certainly if you're Jake Gyllenhaal, it's a look. But I don't want to do that with this one. I just want to keep it blended. So I've got the 1.5, and I'm going up until I run out of surface, really. So still quite high. You don't want any low weight lines. So I'm going up, but not the whole way round. And then the same over here. Now what I'm going to do to clean that so that there isn't any major shadow is I have a 1.5 guard. They don't come as standard, but they are available. So I'm putting that on, and I'm pulling the blade back half the way. So that's like a 1 3/4. What I've just done is a 1.5. And I'm just with that, I'm just slightly going over the curve. So that's just to rub out any shadows. I've done the curvature, which I've blended, and now I'm going to go in around the back and sides. I'm going to go in with a hard one, so that's a 1 guard, which is 3mm, and the blade, the lever up, not back. Back's 1.5, up is a 1, and I'm going to start taking the back and sides in, that little bit sharper. Need to take my glasses off so I can get out the hair. Here we go. 1. So you can see by leaning my head away from me, I can get in there. And what I can also do, when I get my head in the right place, is I can make sure I'm leaning away, there we go, from the curvature. And that means I'm not taking the one too high. And it's a little, that to me, there we go, way better than this side. So this side, that way. Now you need to go in lots of different directions to make sure that you catch all that hair, but that's the side stop. So now up, and remember that bone I spoke about, the occipital? That's your ski jump. That's where you want to pull away. That's where you want to come out. You want to get right down into the nape. See, I'm exaggerating there, but what I'm doing is I am taking the clippers out and over that bone, so that'll help to blend. Now the great thing with clippers is they make a slightly different noise when they're cutting. If you really are feeling brave and you want to try and taper the edges in that little bit more, you can use a 0.5 guard, which is 1.5mm. If you don't have the 0.5 guard, you can basically use your clippers without a guard at all and pull the blade back, and that's at the 0.5. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go around and scoop out around the edges and be really careful around here so that I get all those little neck hairs down there. I always know when someone's cut the hair themselves, or buzz cut themselves, when you're on the bus and you're sat behind them and everything's really clean and sharp, and then they've got a really, lots of hairs above the collar poking out. So I'm just going to make sure that I get rid of those. Not that anyone's looking at the back of my neck right now, but hey, guard on, blade forward, take those out. And I'm just scooping out. And that just gives those edges just that little bit neater. Right down at the bottom, but you can see that that's a real scoop and out. Imagine getting ice cream out of a bowl. Big spoon, in and out, nice big curve. So, desperate times, desperate measures, home haircuts. I haven't had to cut my own hair for about 37 years, but you know, needs must, and it feels cleaner, it feels sharper. So I've done a bit of a fade. You don't necessarily have to. If you want to do the proper Beckham, just the #1 all over. Just remember to move your clippers around in different directions, always going against the grain or across the grain. Yeah, there we go. There's my home buzz. Not too bad. It'll do. I'm leaving the house once a day for a 5K run with a hat on. So, you know, I'll get through. Thanks, guys.